Afternoon, everybody.
Let's go.
Welcome to the February 2026 council meeting, our first live stream council meeting, so very exciting. So welcome to fellow councillors, staff and the gallery and everybody online. I'm not sure where the camera is, but hope everybody can hear and see us clearly. Just one thing our IT department did ask for is that we don't rustle papers too much and one speaker at a time, or the system doesn't pick it up very well, apparently. Just got a couple other things I'd just like to read out as well. Just a normal thing, if you could put your phones off or on silent, please. Just a reminder, the meeting is being live streamed via council's website and a person's image and or voice may be broadcast. Attendance at this meeting is taken as consent by the person to have their image and or voice live streamed. If any person attending the meeting does not agree to be live streamed, they can choose to leave the meeting. Everybody okay with that? Cool. All speakers should refrain from making defamatory comments or releasing any personal information about another individual without their consent. Council accepts no liability for damage that may result from defamatory comments made by persons attending meetings. All liability will rest with the individual who made the comments. The recording must be published on council's website for the balance of the council's term for 12 months, whichever period is longest, and retained as a council record. Individuals acting in a disorderly manner will be asked by the chairperson to leave the meeting under council's code of meeting practice. Meeting must not be recorded by others without prior written consent. Council in accordance with council's code of meeting practice. And finally, members of the public attending the meeting must remain silent during the meeting and not disrupt the meeting. I'd just like everybody to stand before we go to the prayer, please. I'd just like us to observe a moment of silence for the terrible incident at Bondi back in December. Just ask to think about obviously the victims, the family of the victims, their friends, first responders, and the public that unfortunately witnessed this terrible event. You can't unsee these things, so just a moment of silence, please. Thank you, everybody. Just like to call on Jen Coleman, who's going to lead the prayer for us this evening. Thank you, Jen.
The prayer for this evening is adapted from a prayer by Catholic Bishop John Carroll back in 1700s, but relevant today. God of power and might, wisdom and justice, through you authority is rightly administered, laws enacted, and judgment is decreed. Assist with your spirit of counsel and fortitude the Mayor, councillors and staff of Narromine Shire Council. May they always seek the ways of righteousness, justice and mercy. Grant that they be enabled by your powerful protection to lead our Shire with honesty and integrity. We ask this through Christ our Lord.
Amen.
And if we all recite the Lord's Prayer, please. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you very much, Jen. Okay. I now would like to read out an acknowledgement of country. I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land and pay respect to elders past, present and future, for they hold the memories, traditions and culture of the land where we meet today, and extend that respect to Aboriginal community and all Aboriginal people present this evening. Thank you. Have a seat. We're operating under the new model code of conduct. Part of it is supposed to stand when you're speaking. Not sure who wants to do that or not, but I'll stand while I'm reading out the statement of ethical obligations. The Mayor and councillors are reminded that they remain bound by the oath of affirmation of office made at the beginning of the council term to undertake their civic duties in the best interests of the people of Narromine Shire community and to faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities and discretions vested in them under the Local Government Act or any other act to the best of their ability and judgment. Council officials are also reminded of the requirement to declare and appropriately manage any conflicts of interest that they may have in relation to matters considered at this meeting in accordance with the Code of Conduct and Code of Meeting Practice. Thank you. Apologies, we don't have any tonight. So we move on to confirmation of minutes from the 10th of December council meeting.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Do you have a seconder for that?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any questions from those minutes? Thank you. No. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. We've got no disclosures of interest in front of me, so we'll move on to the mayoral minute.
I'll move the recommendation that the information be noted.
Do you have a seconder for that?
I'll second that for you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Lambert. Any questions of the mayoral minute? Okay, we'll put that as a motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. Next, we have the deputy mayoral diary.
I'll move the recommendation that the information be noted.
Thank you. Have a second. Councillor Davies. Any questions of our deputy mayor? I'd just like to add again, thanks for all those school presentations. Council Bowman, it's terrific. We'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried.
You just need to remember you've got to count the voting this time, so declare it unanimous.
Okay, that was unanimous. Both those votes. Sorry, we're still getting used to this new procedure. Okay, up to item number 9, council representative report, the Bushfire Management Committee from Councillor Leake.
I'll move the recommendation to a motion that the information be noted.
Do you have a seconder for that? Councillor Leake's going to second that one. Any questions of Councillor Leake? No, we'll put the motion then. All those in favour raise their hand.
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Okay, item number 10, reports of committees. First one being from the Audit and Improvement Committee, Audit Risk and Improvement Committee.
I'll move the recommendation to the motion that the recommendation for the minutes of the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee meeting held on the 16th of December 2025 be adopted. 2, that the revised internal audit charter and ARIC terms of reference as presented to council be adopted.
I'll second that for you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Lambert. Any questions on the report? No, I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Report of the Tomingla Advancement Association Committee.
I'll move that one, Mr. Mayor.
Do you have a second for
The
that?
report of the Tomingla Advancement Association Committee and the recommendations from the minutes of the meeting held on the 1st of December 2025 be adopted.
Thank you. Have a seconder for that? Councillor Bowen. Any questions on that attachment? All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Okay, reports to council. First one being from the General Manager, item 1, licence part of Narromine Showground and Racecourse.
I'll move the recommendation, Mr. Mayor, that the fee for rental of part Narromine Showground and Racecourse, as shown in the report, to be set a commencing rate of $400, including GST, per month with an annual CPI increments to be applied thereafter.
Seconder for that?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Councillor Davies. Any discussion on this one?
Yeah, I have a question through you, Mr. Mayor, to General Manager. Why the decrease?
Through you, Mayor. Happy to
I can
take
do
it.
that.
Yep.
Yeah, through the GM, we reviewed the area that was being utilised, and where we had previously used two charges that were set in the fees and charges to determine the area.
Yep.
When we looked and talked to the person that's leasing it, we realised that he wasn't using all of that area. So we reviewed it to the area that he's using, matched it more closely.
And
Because there's no fee set for it, that's why I came back to council.
yeah, okay.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to Phil, is there any future maintenance to that area, as in to come back to council down the track?
Yeah, through the GM. Generally, no. I can't think of a case where we have spent money on that, maintaining it. The shed is maintained by the person leasing, and we've certainly not spent any money on yards or anything like that. So I'd say minimal. I wouldn't say never.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you, Phil. Any other questions on that one?
Yes.
Okay, we'll put the recommendation as a motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Item number 2 from the General Manager is the delivery program progress report.
I'll move the recommendation, Mr. Mayor, that the delivery program progress report from the 1st of July 2025 to the 31st of December 2025 be noted.
Thank you. Do you have a seconder for that?
I'll second
Councillor
that.
Davies. Any questions on this one?
Yep, through you, Mr. Mayor. On reports to council, page 28 of the attachments. Sorry, 28 of the book, 16 of the attachment. Point 3.2.3.1, continued partnerships with Net Waste to deliver targeted waste management projects, education and community engagement projects. Can we have that amended to include Tomingley?
See you, Mr. Mayor. Can you say that again, please, Councillor Bowen?
Where we're looking at, yep. So page 28 of the book or 16 of the report.
Righto. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I
So-
can speak to that if you
Yep.
want.
Sorry, so 3.2.3.1, halfway down the page.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Mel.
I'm happy. No, I was just going to say I'm happy to include Tomingley. Our educational waste officer does actually reach out to all 3 towns, and so it would be no issue to add
Perfect.
Tomingley.
And because that we've spoken before about it including the battery and a few other initiatives involved in that. So if we could just include Tomingley, that'd be great.
Thank you. Any other questions on this one?
Through you,
Councillor Lee.
Mr. Mayor, to Jane. On page 3 of your report, it's got pre-sales of 5 lots within the Craigie Industrial Subdivision. Is there any other further interest in other blocks out there at this point in time?
Through you, Mayor. Do you want me to? You happy to take some?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Thanks for the question. Through the General Manager. Certainly there is. We've had a couple of other inquiries in addition to those that have gone to contract, and probably over this same time as many as 5, one today, for example. We haven't spent further money recently on the marketing. I guess we're waiting for the construction side of things now to ramp up before we do the next lot of marketing. But yes, the short answer is there is interest in those other lots.
That's good news. Thanks, Phil.
Thank you, Phil. Any other questions?
Through you,
Councillor
Mr. Mayor, to Philip. Has council got any of those blocks on hold? Self or not?
Yeah, happy to take that one too through the General Manager. No. The five lots are all through to contract. And we're not holding any one lot now waiting for that process. There was a period of time where we initially held them because we were waiting for the legal part of the process to catch us up. We had a few going through together, and we had to get contracts ready and that kind of thing. And so we did have a few on hold at that time, but there's none on hold today. So whoever turns up tomorrow with that wants to proceed is welcome to proceed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Any other questions on this one? I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Point 3, General Manager's report is the draft revised property strategy.
I'll move the recommendation to a motion that the property strategy 2026 to 2030 as presented to council be endorsed.
And I'll second that.
Thank you, Councillor Harry. Any questions on this one?
Yep, I have in here, we've been talking about Crown land and Crown reserves. Can we please get an update on the transition originally that there was some Crown land in Narromine Shire was being transferred to the Aboriginal Lands Council? Can we get an update on that? Happy to take it on notice.
Take it on notice.
Yep.
It's free, Mayor. We'll take it on notice.
Yep.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, we've got the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Point 4, GM's report is public forum policy.
I'll move this one for you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Lambert. Not going to read it out.
Oh, that the public forum policy as presented to council be endorsed.
Thank you. Do you have a second?
And I'll speak to it.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
I find this rather interesting because quite often when we have public forum on today, there may be something that the speaker brings up that we probably haven't thought of. And perhaps by moving this to the day before, we might be able to actually help not only for ourselves, but the staff may be able to find some further information. So I think it's probably a very good idea.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Councillor Lambert?
Mr. Mayor, I think it'd be fairly convenient for councillors who live out in Narromine to turn up for two settings. Even though it's very important, I think there should be, if we can still keep it divided in the same time as they have done in the future.
I'll speak to it as well. I think that given that most of the information that's shared in a public forum is of a general nature, typically it wouldn't be something that was instinctual be needing for staff to come out. If it is, we can always foreshadow a motion that it be moved to the next month. So to ensure that we have the majority of councillors here for public forum, I think it's important that we keep it prior to the monthly meeting. And if need be and we need further information as a whole, we can make that collection to move it to a further meeting, but having it on a separate day will allow the gallery to maybe not participate as they should be, or for speakers to be able to do it. It's also a burden on the staff that have to stay back for another day outside their normal working hours, and I don't think it's necessary.
Thank you, Councillor Bone. Councillor Davies.
Yeah, look, if council has the ability to vary this to the extent that we can hold it on the Wednesday, on the same night as the meeting, and if not, then to do what we're doing here so that we can watch the public forum on our computers, on our iPads from home, so that we're not missing out on anything if we have to be involved. But it is an imposition on councillors. Well, myself and Councillor Hoey got to come down from Trengy. There's other councillors who have got to travel. If we're coming down here to listen to 3 minutes of public forum, it's a bit of a not only an impost, but a cost to council that we shouldn't have to bear.
Thank you. Any other comments on this one?
I'll speak to it. Whilst I would be happy to come, I agree with Councillor Bohm that if there's something substantial that is brought up in the public forum, that it can be held over to give us time to renegotiate what we are thinking about the topic.
So can I foreshadow a motion that the public forum policy stay as is, or make an amendment that the public forum still be attended on the Wednesday at 5 p.m.
Yes, you can do that. We've got the foreshadow motions are back on the books, Councillor.
Can we just, is that lawful? Can I just check with the new policy? Is that?
Yep.
Yep.
Have a second. I'll second that. Councillor Davies. Okay. We shall put the recommendation as is first.
Recommendation as is to be voted on. Yep.
All those in favour?
So through you, Mayor, I think the right way to do it would be to say that the public forum policy as presented to council be endorsed, with the exception of that public forum be held on the day of the meeting, commencing at 5
With that,
at 5 p.m.
At 5, yep, you're right with that.
I'm
So
happy with that as the mover.
mate, let's typed up there.
so if you're happy as the mover, do we vote just on the foreshadowed?
Yep. So you don't have to do that, councillor Bond.
Okay, everybody happy we put that motion now? Okay, all those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimous. Thank you. Alrighty, point 5, GM's report is reappointment of independent member to the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee.
I'll move the recommendation to the motion that Mr. Graham Marchant be appointed to the Narromine Audit Risk and Improvement Committee as an independent member for a further 4-year term and be appointed chair of the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee for a further 2-year term.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you, councillor Hoey. Anybody wish to make any
I
comments?
just wish to speak to it. I'm actually on that committee and Mr. Marchant does an amazing job. He's highly educated. He comes very informed. He asks amazing questions. And I know everyone's obviously not privy to that meeting, but it's a very good appointment that we're very lucky to have.
And I would second that as well, sitting on that committee prior.
Thank you. Any other speakers on this one? Shall put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. We move on to finance and corporate strategy. Thank you, Barry. The first,
I'll move recommendation, first one, Mr. Mayor, that the report on the investment report as of the 31st of December 2025. Recommendation says that 1, that the report regarding council's investment portfolio be received and noted, and 2, that the certification of the responsible accounting officer be noted and the report adopted.
thank you. Have a seconder for that? Any questions of Barry? Okay, no questions. We'll put that recommendation into a motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimous. Point 2 is the investment report.
I'll do this one too, Mr. Mayor. The investment report as of the 31st of January 2025. The recommendation states that the report regarding council's investment portfolio be received and noted, and 2, that the certification of the responsible accounting officer be noted and the report adopted.
Do you have a seconder for
We
that?
just note it's
Councillor
2026.
Davies? You
2026, yeah.
good to go? We've got that clear? Yes, okay. Move councillor Lambert, seconded councillor Davies. Any questions on this one? No, I'll put the recommendation as a motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Number 4, quarterly budget review statement as up to 31st of December.
Should be number 3, Mayor.
Yeah, number 3,
Get them both
financial
together.
report.
Sorry, I'm just following my little script here.
I'll move that recommendation to a motion that the financial report as at 31 January 26 be received and noted.
Thank you.
Seconded, Mr. Mayor.
Davies, no questions on that one?
Yeah, just a question through you, Mr. Mayor, to Barry. The user fees and charges are up significantly again, and we've seen a similar, not a similar thing last year. Is that something that we're going to start budgeting, increasing our budget to counteract the fact that we are forever seeing a continual increase in these?
Through the general manager, Kim. No, I think what happens with other fees and charges, it includes our water user fees and charges, sewer, and the refuse fees and charges that we have budgeted for the year. So depending on when we do the levies for those services. So I think it will basically come together at the end of the financial year.
So through you, Mayor, I think previously, because these are prepared on an accrual basis, it's not cash received, it's invoices raised effectively.
It just seems to be a general theme, even at the end of last year, that our user fees and charges are significantly higher than what we've budgeted on. So given that, shouldn't our budget year to year be increased to reflect that it is constantly overage in that department?
Through the general manager, yes. When we do the budget, we compile basically using historical data and information. So if there's an increase in those charges, we increase the in line with those increases, unless there's a reason why it's a once-off increase, then we will not take that into account in future year's budget.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Barry. Any other questions today? We'll put the recommendation as a motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Point 5, integrated planning and reporting documents from the June 2026 ordinary meeting of council.
Number 4 first.
Number 4.
No, there's 4. There's a number 4 there, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, sorry, I've crossed too many things off. Yep. Okay.
I'll move recommendation that's on number 4, the quarterly budget review statement as of the 31st of December 25. The recommendation says, 1, that the report regarding the budget review for the October to December 25 quarterly be noted, and 2, that the variations of income, operational expenditure, capital expenditure and reserves as identified in the report and the quarterly budget review statement of the 31st of December 2025 be approved and voted.
Do you have a seconder for that recommendation?
I'll second that.
Lahoe, thank you. Any questions to Barry on this one?
Yep, through you, Mr. Mayor, to Barry. Just having a look at the balance sheet that's listed here, and we obviously have quite a few things that are over budget. And the contingency budget, we've taken $90,000 out of to cover some of those overages. I've noticed here that we've increased the 2025 to 2026 stormwater upgrades for Manildra Street. We've almost doubled that. Is that? We've decreased it and the new budget's only 41,000 instead of 200,000. Is that going to affect the project in Manildra Street drainage? But I know it's a finance question, but it's probably Mel as well, but whoever needs to answer that. So it's on page 7 of the finance and corporate strategy. And it's on
halfway down, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that no, it's not going to impact that project. So the works was just for design, and the design has come in. We've done the design now, so it's come in a lot under budget. So no, it's not going to impact.
Yep, perfect.
Just to add to that, Mr. Mayor, the project will still go ahead in future years, so we'll come back with a council for the budget in next financial year.
Yep.
Continue.
And then Enmore Street drainage, it's another $50,000. Is that going to complete that project?
Yeah, that will. So just to clarify, that project, when we got the quotes in initially on that project, it was actually higher than the 150 originally allocated. So we did have money from the Roads to Recovery budget to complete that. So yeah.
Great, coming under budget. And lastly, the Safer Local Roads and Infrastructure Program, design and upgrade of Narromine heavy vehicle rest. We originally didn't have any budget for that, but we've increased it by 26,000. Is that a priority that was put forward, or?
That's the third line down that you're talking about, just
Yep.
Yep. So that was endorsed at the December meeting as a result of the grant that we won to upgrade the sale yards area.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Mel. Any other questions to Barry or Mel about any of this on this recommendation? Okay, we'll put the recommendation as a motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Now we get on to point 5. Integrated planning and reporting documents, June 2026 ordinary meeting of council.
I'll move the recommendation to a motion that the April ordinary council meeting be held on the 15th of April 2026 and the June ordinary council meeting be held on the 24th of June 2026.
Thank you. We have a seconder for that.
Yeah.
Councillor Smith. Any questions on this one? Straightforward. Okay, we'll put the recommendation into a motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Yes. Carried unanimously. Thank you, Barry. We move on to community and economic development report by Phil. First one being development approvals.
I'll move the recommendation to a motion that information be noted.
Do we have a seconder for that?
I'll second that.
Thank you, councillor Hoey. Any questions on the development applications approvals?
Just a question on the change of use to the old news agency of 69 Dandaloo Street. So change of use from retail to medical centre. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yep. And has that affect or has been discussed about using that location for that?
Yes, so through Mayor, that these are obviously already been determined by appropriate staff, so they've considered all of those issues. Yes.
Perfect.
Any other questions on the?
I might add, to Mr Mayor, what a great opportunity for Narromine to have a dentist back in town, another dentist.
Yeah.
And they're both young, everyone's a Narromine person, so it's great.
That's great. Yes. Any other comments on this one? Okay, we'll put the recommendation into motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried unanimously. Item 2, the Dolly Parton Festival.
I'll move the recommendation to a motion that the report be noted.
Do you have a seconder for that? Councillor Bowen. Any discussions on this one? Or questions to Phil?
Through you, Mr Mayor, it is excellent to see it's actually been itemised, the expenses for Dolly Parton, just for future reference and to make it more economic and to see where the money's actually going. So I think it was actually an excellent report. Thanks.
Any other questions or points on this one? Okay, we'll move the recommendation to a motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Item number 3, development of draft social plan for 2026 to 2030.
I'll move this one for you, Mr Mayor, that the draft social plan 2026-2030 be placed on public exhibition until the 20th of March 2026, and that a further council report consider any submissions.
Okay, you have a seconder for this one? Yeah. Councillor Davies. Any discussion?
Yep.
Questions, Councillor Bowen?
My discussion through you, Mr Mayor, to Mr Johnson. Just the resolution that was done was that the draft social plan be returned to council staff to have discussions with the Aboriginal Medical Service in Narromine Shire and include the outcomes in the social plan. To my knowledge, there's been no changes at all to the social plan.
Through the General Manager, yes, there are some changes and I should have highlighted them exactly. I can certainly share those changes.
Yes, please.
For the most part, the discussions were framed in the words that were already there. So we've got some correspondence that we'll share in the future from the AMS, for example, and their wishes are captured broadly in the notes in the plan.
But the AMS hasn't even been listed as a medical service provider when Trangie and Narromine has been. And the motion specifically says that include the outcomes in the social plan.
Yeah. All right. Well, as I say, I'm happy to provide the exact detail. For example, they are looking for assistance with more accommodation. And so there's some actions in there that outline to work with health providers generally. So I guess from a very high level, I think that their wishes are captured, and I specifically haven't included the detail that the different services we spoke to wanted in this high level. I guess that's for the next step, which is more the actions that come out of it.
I suppose my issue is that originally we discussed this after the signing of the MOU, and you were very specific that there would be plans for the AMS in the social plan in December. The social plan come out in December and there was no such plans at all. We've then asked for them to be included and to be more inclusive within the report, and it's come back with 0 changes.
Yeah, as I say, through the General Manager, it's not quite 0 changes. But
I did check word for word.
Minimal changes, and the actions are covered in the action lists that are there currently. I can outline them after the exhibition period if you like, or I'm happy to take the report on notice further and bring it back further.
I just don't think that the motion's been met, that we asked for specific outcomes and there's been no significant changes whatsoever. I think we all as a council agreed that it was an important issue and something that we agree that is listed in here, that our health and our Aboriginal people within our community is a priority, but yet we've brought this issue to the table and we've asked for a further report and nothing's happened. I feel like you were very specific that the social plan would include this and it doesn't. I think as a council we need to further indemnify and have actual actions to hold ourselves as a council to ensure that it happens in the future.
Through you, Mr Mayor, Councillor Bowen, I think the point of this is the fact that because it's going to go out for public exhibition until the 20th of March, there needs to be submissions put in about what's not there.
Yep.
Rather than us sitting here for an hour saying this, that and everything else. But, you know, as long as submissions are put in before the end of the 20th, we can then have them, or the staff can then go through and actually put in what maybe have been missed.
But we'd already voted on that we wanted a change to the social plan and that change hasn't happened. So us as a council, and it was council that said we voted it through to say that we wanted the plan to include this, and now it's come back with no changes. So that's saying that whether or not whatever discussions have happened with them, we've asked for it to be included and it's not. So I wouldn't be happy for it to go out to public exhibition if it's not, as us who are the community spokesperson have said we want to change, the change hasn't happened. It needs to happen before we put it out on public display.
That's your point.
Councillor Smith.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd like to speak against this as well. Through you, Mr Mayor, to our Director of Community and Economic Development. I'm just really disappointed that in the December meeting we made as councillors a resolution, which from memory was almost unanimous, asking for this Aboriginal medical service to be included in the social plan, and yet it's in front of us 2 months later and basically zero change. I had a look at it and I agree with Councillor Bone. I don't remember reading anything different this time around when I read it back before Christmas. Really disappointing, especially when you look at local government legislation and councillors are meant to direct the council staff in what direction we want things to go in. And that's just not happening. So I think this needs to go straight back to staff to include the relevant information as per the December resolution.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Smith. Any other quick comments on this one? Councillor Howe?
Can we defer the recommendation and bring it back to next council meeting, and with our changes that the council has voted on, and make sure it's right what the councillors want.
So, through you, Mayor, can I just clarify? So that the resolution was that, let's see if we can all read, but the draft social plan be returned to council staff to have discussions with the AMS in Narromine Shire and include the outcomes in the social plan. So I think what the director is saying is he's had those conversations. The outcomes from those conversations are already covered in the content of the existing plan. We don't have in here, for example, what exactly the discussions were with the Narromine Aboriginal Land Council, or what the discussions were exactly with the Training Aboriginal Lands Council. It's just covered overall in the outcome. So I think, if I've got it right, there was nothing that wasn't already covered in the plan that the Aboriginal Medical Service, in the discussions with staff, wanted added in.
So if we look at page 17 of the report, the second one, retain and enhance existing health services, including the Narromine and Trangie hospitals, Trangie Surgery and Narromine Shire Family Centre. It's not even included as a service. So I disagree. I think having the conversation is not enough. We need something that's held accountable to have this crucial service to our community have a spot a place that they can call their own to allow people to have the privacy and dignity that is afforded to them. So I disagree. There's been no significant changes in here. You haven't even included them as a health service.
So through you, Mayor, that's an easy amendment to the plan, but that can happen before, what can happen tonight before it goes out on public exhibition.
What I'm trying to get across is that the discussions with them haven't changed any outcomes or things that as a council we're committing to do. So we asked for change. We asked for things to be implemented. We were asking for discussions to be had and actions to be put in this. This is a 4-year plan.
So through you, Mayor, my understanding is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Phil, is that the discussions with the Aboriginal Medical Service provided everything that they require, and this is a high-level plan, as you understand. The next level down will be an action plan, which will incorporate the things that you were talking about, were covered in the plan, are covered in the words of the plan.
So we've gone to low-level here. So if we go across the page to enhance open and interactive communication with council and community. So we've gone down to literally the nitty-gritty of increased use of media releases, but we don't have anything in there to say that the Aboriginal Medical Service that we'll work together to get them a home where people can actually see a doctor with privacy. So I understand it's high level, but a lot of these actions in here are not high level.
Okay. I think we should probably put this recommendation as a motion.
If I could say something.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'd just like to add,
Roberts.
this is going to public exhibition. I believe that the director has had the conversation. He's also satisfied with his report. And I think that the exhibition is now time for tangible things to be added. And this is what we need the public exhibition for you and for the groups to come and bring forward what they want to put in there. I think the idea that he hasn't done enough isn't a good enough reason to pause putting this on public exhibition. I think it should go ahead.
Yep, some right for refute. So what I'll say back to that.
I don't have the right to reply. I move the motion. I'm sorry, councillor.
It's okay.
The only person that has right to reply is the motion mover.
Apologies.
Can I just ask a quick question? Are we on a time frame for this? Could we defer this until we get this additional information? Do we have to do this now, or can it be deferred?
We're not on a specific time frame.
Okay, thank you.
And as per previous times, us as a council have to be happy to put it out on public exhibition. And if we're not happy with it, why are we putting it out to public exhibition? We're trying to prove to the community that this is what we want as a direction of the council.
Reply that you don't.
I don't understand what you want to put in there, except you're just unhappy with it.
Right.
So he could
put the motion, the recommendation in your motion, that as it's written here. All those.
Could we have a division on this, please, Mr. Mayor?
Through you, Mayor, the new code of meeting practice, all votes are recorded. All votes are recorded under the new meeting code.
Yep. Okay. All those in favour of the recommendation, raise your hand. Councillor Lambert, mental thanks. Councillor Roberts, Councillor Lee, and Councillor Davies. Against is myself, Councillor Smith, Councillor Howe, Councillor Bohm, and Councillor Hoey. So that recommendation is lost. We move a motion that we ask the additional information requested to be.
You can move the motion from the chair.
Or would you?
I'll move a motion that additional information on the local long-term plan with the PQA AMS in Narromine be included within the social plan.
Thank you. Seconder for that? Councillor Smith. Any speakers? Would you like to write a reply?
Let's just vote.
Anybody like to speak for this motion? For the motion? Yes.
No, against the motion. I think you're sending him back to do the same job. He's said that he's done this and you're unhappy with it. So you need to give more clarity to what you actually want returned. He's had the conversation. He believes that the information in there is good enough. So I think, can you please be more specific?
So long-term plans, I would like to have solid plans in there for how we're going to find an actual suitable place for the AMS to conduct private medical appointments for the people that are involved with the AMS. We have a custom built one across the road that's for the Narromine Family Hospital, which is amazing. We've got them up there with a curtain in front of appointments. So I want actual physical plans for how we're going to include this portion of our community and their medical needs.
I'll take that as your right reply.
Yep.
Thank you. Any other speakers against?
Mr Mayor, I'll speak against it because I think our medical centre across the road plus our community health centre up attached to the hospital are the perfect places that are being utilised already. It's just like the community health centre over in Trangie and the multipurpose centre in Trangie. And I don't think it's our role as council to actually find a specific building or place for a private enterprise of any sort.
Thank you, Councillor Lambert. Any other speakers for the motion?
I'll speak for the motion. I don't know what Narromine, I don't personally know what's down there, but if Councillor Bowen does know what's down there and thinks it's inappropriate for the people that are using it, I'm happy to support her motion to make it better.
Thank you.
I'd like to speak for it, please.
Any others against? Just the last one. Thank you, Councillor Smith.
Okay, thank you. Like Councillor Bone, I have actually been down there on several occasions, and I can tell you that a lot of people would not use that service at the moment because of the conditions. You're in a room with other people with a curtain across, very intimate consultations such as gynecological. Now, that is third world, and our community deserves better than that. And we need to make sure that they get what they really deserve, because that's not happening at the moment. And that's what we need to take a long, hard look at, is how we're treating people in this community, because without health, you've got nothing. Health has to be our priority. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. Against?
Yeah, I'd just like to say if that's the motion, I'm happy to support that motion. I'm not happy to support something that is asking of staff to outline specific details to the extent that they are being, because it's impossible to do so at this point in time. We don't have funding to do that sort of thing. It's not our role to do that sort of thing. If the motion is for additional information, then I'm quite happy for that to be delivered.
Yep. Thank you. We'll put the motion then, please. To raise your hand, all those in favour of the motion as printed on the screen. Myself, Councillor Smith, Councillor Roberts, Councillor Howe, Councillor Bone, Councillor Leake, Councillor Hoey and Councillor Davies. Yeah, I've got your name, thank you. Against?
I'll vote against it, Mr Mayor.
Okay, against is Councillor Lambert. The motion is carried. Thanking you. Okay. Point 4 from Community and Economic Development is the pricing of residential lots.
I'll move this recommendation to a motion that lots 4, 5, 6 and 7 DP 1315133 as outlined in the layout plan for Darraboggle Street, Trangie, be offered for sale via an agent at a price of $74,500 per lot, excluding GST. And 2, that the general manager be delegated to negotiate the terms of each of those sales. And 3, that the common seal be affixed to any sale documentation as required.
I'll second that, Mr Mayor.
Two at once.
Everyone go.
Who's first?
Craig.
Councillor Davies. Thank you. Any speakers for this one? Any speakers against? Okay, we'll put the recommendation as a motion. All those in favour, raise your hand, please.
Aye.
Carried unanimously. Thanking you. Item 5, planning proposal rezone R5 large lot residential 36 Jones Circuit, Narromine.
I'll move that recommendation, Mr Mayor. The council proceed with public exhibition and community consultation in line with the requirements of the gateway determination for planning proposal rezone R5 large lot residential at 36 Jones Circuit, Narromine.
Thank you. Have a seconder for that one. Councillor Davies. Any speakers for this one?
I think, Mr Mayor, as the mover, it's got to go out for public exhibition so they know what's going on up there. There's been lots of speculation and whatever around the community, and by putting this out on community consult and public exhibition, people will then know that what we're trying to do is create more large lot residential units or 4 units or whatever.
Thank you, councillor Lambert. Any speakers against? Any other body want to speak for? No, need to write reply, councillor?
No, Mr. Mayor.
We'll put the recommendation as a motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. We'll
Do you
move
need
on.
to call it out, or is it unanimous?
Unanimous, yes.
Okay.
We'll move on to this infrastructure and engineering services report. Thank you, Mel. And first one being the works report.
Move the recommendation to a motion that the information be noted.
I'll second that.
Yeah. Like to say the approach roads are getting mowed again today and everything looks honky-dory. That little bit of rain's made a difference. Staff are doing a great job. Any questions to Mel? Councillor Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll just find the page.
Page 7.
Yeah. On page 7 of your works report, and for the benefit of the gallery, I'll just quote a little piece of it. During this period, Council's Narromine water treatment plant was unable to consistently keep pace with peak demand. Reservoir levels were closely monitored by staff through Council's online telemetry system, and level 2 water restrictions were implemented in Narromine Township as a precautionary measure. These restrictions have allowed Council to continue supplying safe, high-quality drinking water to the community without interruption. I'm just wanting to know, are the other pumps in all good working order, relatively new, or are we possibly looking at another issue down the track?
So just to clarify, that top bit isn't related to the emergency breakdown. That is just in general, our treatment plant is undersized. I'm not sure if I'm answering, but related to this, the treatment plant is undersized, and that's why we're working towards a larger and permanent treatment plant.
No, and my next question does, down the bottom of that page, does relate to that. Where you say, Council continues to progress planning for the new water treatment plant with concept design completion scheduled for early May, and monthly meetings are being held with funding department. Okay.
Yeah.
So you note that the planning for the new water treatment plant is progressing with conceptual design and is due to be completed in early May, and monthly meetings are being held with the funding department. Can you share any further information on possible funding arrangements that we're likely to receive?
The current advice from the department is that we are doing everything correctly. They are encouraging us, once the concept design is approved, to apply immediately for design and construction funding. At the moment, they are indicating, they cannot confirm, that there will be money available for us. I am hoping that by, if not early May, definitely late May, that we will have a better cost estimate, and that will also help from our consultant, and that will also help the department give us more information around the funding.
Oh, great. So we'd be able to get a report on that in June as to how things are progressing.
I'm hoping so. Like we're hoping it can go into the budget for next year.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions to Mel? I'll put the recommendation as a motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Item 2 is the heavy vehicle rest area facility study.
I'll move the recommendation, Mr. Mayor, that the report be noted.
Do you have a seconder for this one? Councillor Bone.
And just through the staff, I'd imagine that once things are in place, we'll probably get a report back of where we go from now.
No, that is the report.
In relation to what?
Whether we need to go further down the track on putting more heavy vehicle parks around.
That's
Rest areas, if you want to call them.
So through Mayor, that wasn't the context of the report. It was about a specific heavy vehicle rest area.
The one out the road.
The one at Dandaloo.
Yeah, I know. But I just wondered whether the staff by doing this report, actually found if there were any further areas that may need to be looked at?
Our current priority is Narromine and Timingly.
Yeah.
Any
That's what we've got
questions?
funding for.
Yeah, so Mr Mayor, as well. I appreciate your report, but I was indicating just a parking bay area where the trucks can pull off and check out their loads and, you know, make sure everything's safe before they continue on down the road. I know Trangie has a facility there, but a lot of trucks don't go through Trangie when carting grain and coming along from Tottenham, Oberlin, out further west. There's no specific spot where they can just pull off the road, check their load, maybe have a sleep in a safe manner. And I understand that you've gone into toilets and rest areas. I may have put that the wrong way, but really I was more indicating a parking bay area where they can pull off, check their load, check their straps, make sure all their tyres are right and safe. As you know, the roads are pretty ordinary from every area. So I wish that that recommendation was reversed, but that's where I was coming from. And not to spend a lot of money out there, but just get a good safe area where 5 or 6, 10 trucks can pull up in a safe spot and check their load, have a sleep and get on, because there is no turn off area between here and Tottenham in a safe spot. So that's where I'm coming from.
If I may make a comment, I appreciate that and I take on board your feedback. I don't think that's quite what the resolution was, and I would encourage you in the future, if you have notices of motion, to come and chat to me beforehand so that we can appropriately craft the motion so that it's worded the exact way that you would like, so that I understand, and then when I do work I can directly address it. So I'm sorry in this point that it's missed the mark, but please feel free to reach out to me in the future so that we can get that right.
So through you, Mayor, just to be clear, I think the report has absolutely hit the mark for what was requested, what was resolved.
Yep.
Thank you, Mel. I know that was a lot of work.
Thank you. Any other questions to Mel? Okay, with the recommendation as a motion, all those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Okay, so for the motion was myself, Councillor Lambert, Councillor Smith, Councillor Roberts, turn your thing around. Councillor Bohm, Councillor Lee, Councillor Hoey, Councillor Davies, and against was Councillor Howe. Thank you. The motion is carried. Thank you very much. The point 3 of Mel's report is integrated water cycle management, or IWCM strategy adoption.
I'd like to move the recommendation to motion that council adopt the integrated water cycle management IWCM strategy, and big thank you to Mel. That's a massive report.
Thank you. Have a seconder for that one?
For the cameras. That's why
I'll
they're
second that.
facing
Thank you,
the other
Councillor
way.
Hoey. Any questions to Mel about this one?
Through you,
Councillor
Mr. Mayor, to Mel. On page 3, it's got the new raw water pipeline from the river, the Narromine water treatment plant. This is in that 30 projected life, and just with the current issue with some water quality and having the same aquifer that we're pumping out of, that pipeline and upgrade to that pumping facility, do you think we can actually apply for funding and bring it forward before the 2040, which is planned?
We've already started. So you've got to remember, like, this document has been written over like a 4-year period with the information that was available at the time. But absolutely, we've actually in the last week been lobbying hard to basically say, you know, new information's come to light, what are going to be our options to make sure that we do have security into the future. So this is the plan at the moment with the information that we have, but absolutely it's a moving it's a living document, so we need to be on the front foot.
Through Mr. Mayor, to Mel. So would it be feasible to actually do a costing of that project? Or is that?
And just, this is the river pipeline to the
Yes,
treatment plant. We
yes.
have done that. Yes.
Been to council.
Probably before, probably to the
No.
options.
At this council.
It definitely went as part of the options study.
Yeah.
Yep, so it has been done. We do have those costings. Yeah. The current, just to clarify, the current focus is the new water treatment plant, because that'll get us the capacity that we need, and we need the treatment plant before we can have river water anyway. But that's definitely the second priority.
And I do know you actually have said before that we can't get funding for both the water treatment plant and that rural.
Not at this point in time. That could change, and we will lobby to get whatever we can get.
Yeah, thanks, Mel.
Any other questions to Mel? Councillor Tate?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Through you to Director of Engineering and Infrastructure. Apologies, mine crosses over slightly with Councillor Leak's question. We're on the same path, obviously. Also on page 3 of attachment 2, and I'm just going to quote a little bit for the benefit of the gallery. Yield modelling of groundwater system demonstrates that there is sufficient groundwater to supply current demand. However, doubt remains about meeting demand post-2033. Experience has shown that there is little opportunity to construct new bores near the town. Council's preferred option is to continue to use the use of groundwater bores and add river supply to preserve groundwater resources for when needed by obtaining a surface water licence to extract from the Quarry River and construct a pipeline to the water treatment plant. The construction and connection of the supplementary river water source into the supply system has been deferred to 2040 to gain a better understanding of the groundwater system and also to prioritise addressing the water quality issue and to reduce the impact on ratepayers. There is a very high inherent source water pathogen risk due to disused uncapped bores in close proximity along the numerous failed stock and domestic bores. There is also a very high residual risk of chlorine-resistant pathogens, as there are no effective treatment barriers for chlorine-resistant pathogens at the treatment plant. The groundwater is also high in iron, manganese, hardness and bentonite. So a couple of little questions for you there. So doubt remains about meeting demand post-2033. So bearing this in mind, along with the current PFAS issues we're experiencing, are council staff seriously considering revising their plans to access river water post-2040 and bringing that forward? Wouldn't it be prudent to starting to ramp up that process at a fairly quick rate now, because water is critical and without it, the town's going to die?
Yeah.
Now, I think Mel's already answered that question.
No, I did say it'd be crossover.
Yeah.
So council is actually going to bring the plans forward.
So again, like, it's a lot of money, but we are pushing everything to the department to secure funding. We recognise that it's an issue. So we know it's an issue and we're definitely working on it. We've got preliminary design. So yeah, it's not just sitting on the back burner.
So is there a way to fast track if all of a sudden those PFAS levels or something goes through the roof and goes bananas and we've got to shut things down? We don't need a town of 3,500 people turning their taps on and nothing but air coming out.
If you have a way to get money out of the government,
no, that's why I'm
and through your mayor, significant, not just money, but time to build that infrastructure. That's not something that would happen quickly. We are certainly, and that's been to this council a number of times, which I'm sure you agree, our priority is the treatment plant, but we're also looking at the supply from the Macquarie River. But we know that we're not going to get both straight up. So we have to focus on the treatment plant at this stage. But as Mel said, we're very much clearly working on other options as well.
So would there be an option for the government to step in if we do have water failure for whatever reason?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But that's not guaranteed.
And
we don't, I guess the answer is we don't want to get to that critical point.
Which on is a big concern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, thank you for that one. And on the bottom of that page, on training water, it says the 30-year forecast of unrestricted annual demand is estimated to be 364 megalitres a year, which exceeds council's total entitlement of 350 megs a year. Just wondering, will council apply for an entitlement increase now? And how much of an increase do you think we should be applying for?
The bores, so just to clarify, the bores themselves have plenty of water available. So it's sort of saying, if training keeps going up, then we may be a small thing. It is quite conservative. But the short answer to your question is no, we wouldn't apply now. I don't think that we would be successful if we applied now, because our data right now shows that we're well within the boundary. You know, it's probably a 10-year thing if we start to increase population. It's not very unlikely that we'd be pushed back. If we went to the department and said, hey, look, we just need a little bit more water allocation, 6 meg, 10 meg, 20 megs, they're going to give it to us, and they're going to give it to us quite quickly. So it's not something that
So it is a quick process to increase that entitlement.
It would be, sorry, let me rephrase. If we needed it, we could get it. It's not necessarily a quick process, but if we could show that we needed it for town water supply, yes, we would be able to access.
Yes, I guess the answer is it's a different level of process to a private individual applying for an increase in their licence. It's a town water supply, so it's a higher priority. Yes.
I don't know what town water supply is.
It has to go to ministerial approval, but yeah, what James said is absolutely correct. Like, yeah.
Fantastic. And a quick question on the training sewage, which is over on page 5. Training sewage treatment plant has sufficient capacity to service the 30-year forecast growth. That's fantastic. Effluent flows, okay. Flow along a 2-kilometre discharge channel and terminates at Training Ag Research Station. Human contact with this effluent and access by stock are both possible and constitutes a risk. In the short term, Council will address the recommendations provided by GHD to address this and other performance and work health and safety related issues. Just wondering, what are the recommendations provided by GDH, and are there any timeframes for implementing them?
I'd have to take that on notice. Sorry.
That's okay. And the other part of that question is this part of the report from 2022?
Sorry,
It mentions 2022 report in the GDH report of April 22.
I'd have to take all of that on notice. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Howe.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mel, could we extract river water for our parks and gardens, like we've done the study for the finances of it, which wasn't a lot, and that stop doing the gardens at Peyton Park over the other side of the railway line, all those parks and gardens, and alleviate the pressure from our filtration plant, which is reaching its capacity. And if we got that going, we could then use that river water, alleviate our filtration capacity and take people off restrictions through summer. If we leave it until 2040, it's a long way down the track.
So through you, Mayor, I believe, my recollection, correct me if I'm wrong, there was actually a notice of motion on this and a report that was prepared that has already been to this council that has answered all of those questions.
Yeah, but it wasn't a lot of money to actually reinstate that.
There was a recommendation at the time and council endorsed the recommendation of the director.
And just to clarify, the new water treatment plant, which we're building in a couple of years, will allow us to use all our blue water, so we won't have restrictions. So that is the best and fastest course to make sure that we have enough water. So just so that we're clear.
Provided our bores don't get contaminated with anything. And your filtration plant will not take out PFAS and PFOS.
Well, actually, that's not the case.
Not really. Okay, so
the current treatment plant doesn't.
Yeah.
The intention for the new treatment plant is it would be able to treat our groundwater.
So that'll be extremely expensive treatment plant, but won't it?
Not necessarily, no.
I thought when you start trying to eliminate PFAS and PFOS, it almost doubles the cost of the treatment plant.
Through you, Mayor, I think we're probably getting
Well,
into.
Just.
That sounds good. Thank you.
One more thing through Mr. Mayor to Mel, I'd like to congratulate you and your team for the roadwork team for the work you're doing at McGrain Way. Big job, really noted it in the Gainsborough Road, so positive. It's fantastic work.
Thanks. Thank you, Councillor.
The water bit now.
Oh, good. Oh, sorry, I'll go back.
I'll take a compliment in there.
I'll just accept. We take compliments when you want.
I have one more
One
question.
more
if I
quick
could,
one.
through
Thank
you,
you.
Mayor, to
Councillor
Mel.
Councillor Howe.
The entitlement, has it been sold temporary or is it still all available? Because through the few years it has been sold and got an income from the entitlement as temporary water. Has that been sold this year?
Yeah, a portion of it has been. The remainder of it is available for sale at the moment.
Okay.
That's a general security license.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
Okey-dokey, I think we might put this into a motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. We shall now move on to the notices of motion. The first one is from myself. I shall read a notice of motion that all 9 Narromine Shire councillors be on the General Manager's Performance Review Panel.
Second that for you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Lambert. I'll just speak to the motion quickly. When I go away to different meetings, the country mayors, the alliance, the local government conference, obviously talk to other mayors and GMs to see how they do stuff. They've indicated that it's more effective to have the whole council on board to be on the panel. So that way no one's left off. So that's my my motion. I speak for. Anyone wants to speak against this motion?
I just have a question. Can we get the opinion of the GM? It's your review.
Through you, Mayor, I really don't mind, to be honest. Yep. I'll leave it in the hands of councillors.
Through you, Mr Mayor, against the motion, I've got confidence in the 4 councillors who are sitting through the review.
No problem. Thank you, Councillor Lee. Anybody want to speak for notice of motion?
I think sometimes, Mr Mayor, different people come up with different take or interpretations of things. So that may even help the General Manager as well, not just us as councillors.
Thank you. Any speakers against?
Just
Yeah,
You go.
Just a
You've
question,
already
Mr
spoken
Mayor.
against.
Is it would it
question,
be
is this?
compulsory?
Is this a question?
Just
Okay.
a question. Would that be compulsory for all 9 to sit on that panel?
Well, if it's adopted as a resolution, it would be.
I'll speak against it. I feel like the way that it's structured at the moment, the mayor is the one that has the most to do with the GM, I would say. And the deputy mayor are definitely, they're the 2 that are just elected as that's what you do. Then the GM gets to select her own representative and then council select a representative. I think that's enough. It is a quite onerous, involved process. And I think there's a lot for you to do before it, and then there's a lot. I think it just overcomplicates something that the procedure of 4 people that you get your own representative, you get a selection of councillors. I think the way it's set up is sufficient enough to get a cross section of the councillors as a whole.
Thank you, Councillor Bone. Any other speakers for? Any against? Councillor Smith?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'm just concerned that if we make this compulsory, you're going to have councillors that, for whatever reason, may not want to participate, and that's not fair on the GM. And when anything's compulsory like this, there's 9 councillors, everyone's got their own lives and businesses. It's going to get very cumbersome trying to organise time that suits everybody.
Take your point. Thank you. I'll reserve my right to reply. We'll put the notice of motion. All those in favour of the notice of motion, raise a hand. Myself, Councillor Lambert, Councillor Davies. Against, Councillor Smith, Councillor Roberts, Councillor Howe, Councillor Bone, Councillor Leake, Councillor Hoey. Notice of motion is lost. Thank you. My second one is that Narromine Shire Council lobby the state government about reducing the cost of registering and insuring a taxi in regional and rural New South Wales. I have a seconder for that one.
I will.
Thank you, Councillor Lambert. I'll just speak first. As you know, I've had a taxi in Parks. I've had them in Narromine a couple of times. Then Uber come along. the government compensated plate holders, because once upon a time people spend their superannuation funds on buying a taxi plate. Now they're not very variable at all. They've basically been deregulated, open slather. Even at Mascot Airport, they've got the Ubers lined up in front of the taxis. I think it's sad we don't have a taxi in Narromine. It's done in Wellington. Most small country towns no longer have a taxi service. I spoke with, last interview I did on Prime TV, I think his name, but he said the drink driving rates in Narromine have gone up a fair bit. I know that onus rests on the individual to make that decision. You should not drink and drive. But yes, I think it needs to be put onto a level playing field with Uber and other competitors. Thank you. Anybody want to speak against? Any other speakers for? Let's put it to the vote.
I'm happy to speak for
Okay.
or against, really. Is it something that people do? Is there a precedence for it?
What do you mean precedents?
Like, has it happened in other communities?
Well, at the moment, and Councillor Roberts would know this because he tried to keep the taxi service in Narromine, you're looking at $7,000 to register a taxi and about another $7,000 to insure it. So you've got $14,000 where you put the key in the ignition. Okay?
To make not
prohibitive
much.
costs, whereas Uber drivers just register a car like a normal car. That's the point.
Yeah.
And I imagine, Mr Mayor, that'll be a lot dearer than that in Sydney and more
I would think so.
metropolitan areas.
Yeah, that's my motion's about is
Yeah.
Western regional and
Just a question to you, Mr Mayor. Is it a bit of overreach for a council, things we should be involved with?
We've done it before.
well, I'm just asking the council to lobby the government. I'm going to take it to the Alliance meeting, next meeting. I'll put it up there as well. I just think it's something that we need to do to try and get taxis back in smaller areas so that people don't have to take the risk of drink driving. It's about road safety. It's about reducing the road toll. Yeah,
Thanks. Yeah.
I'll speak for it. We all want a taxi back in Narromine, definitely. We've lobbied other things from the Shire that we probably had no reason doing, but we did them anyway. I think it can't hurt. It's a letter. I
Just
think
a letter.
it's just, let's just.
Sure.
Okay, I might put this notice of motion if that's okay. Unless anybody else wants to say anything more. All those in favour, raise your hand. This is myself, Councillor Lambert, Councillor Smith, Councillor Howe, Councillor Baum, Councillor Lee, Councillor Hurry and Councillor Davies. Against is Councillor Roberts.
Taxi owner.
The notice of motion is carried. Thank you. Move on to notices of motions now from Councillor Smith, if you'd like to read them out, please.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. My first one is about real estate purchases that council are intending to make. And it is that councillors are provided with an independent valuation and the opportunity to inspect any potential real estate purchases prior to the sale proposal coming to a council meeting for consideration. Now, that's fairly straightforward, so I really
Can just get a second, please, Councillor
Yes.
Smith? Councillor Howe. Go for it, sorry.
It's very straightforward. I really don't need to say much to speak for it. Just please note that I have said opportunity to inspect if you would like to. I know personally I wouldn't spend my own money, especially a significant amount of money like we spend on our ratepayers' behalf, without actually going and getting a valuation and walking to the site and having a good look at what's there. To be spending somebody else's money and showing that due diligence, I think that it's a must that we get some independent advice in form of valuations so we know where we're at, because apart from Councillor Bone, the rest of us certainly aren't property gurus. And then we've got some idea of what we're actually doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. Anybody like to speak against those motions?
I have no doubt whatsoever that this is a procedural matter. And apart from that, if we have councillors seeking to find out the value of properties, clearly the owner of that property is going to assume that council are involved and therefore stick to a price. It gives our staff, who will operate through an agent, no chance of influencing the outcome because it will be determined on our behalf regardless. This is not our role. Our staff are employed to undertake these duties, and it is best if we leave it to those people to conduct that part of business.
Can I just clarify for someone that deals with bank valuations on a daily basis, the actual owner or the vendor of the property doesn't get information on who the valuation's for. So an independent valuation company goes in and does it. They have no access to the purchaser's information whatsoever, so they wouldn't know that it would be for council.
Thank you, Councillor Bone, for that clarification. Speakers for the notice of motion, please.
Yeah,
Councillor
Mr. Mayor, as I'm speaking in favour, and it can be done confidentially, and there is in part of this report on page 5, it says ensure that property decisions are financially sound. That's purchasing properties and compliant with legislative and government requirements. Well, being financially sound, how do we know if it's financially sound unless we get professional advice? I know all of our directors are competent, but I think for us to go and purchase something, we should have an outside valuation to cover ourselves.
Can I foreshadow the motion and change it to take out and the opportunity to inspect? I feel like when you receive a valuation, it has photos, it has risk ratings, it has everything possible that you could need. It's also what you provide to a bank when getting finance. I'm not sure, obviously we're not using it in the same instance with our finance, but it's what would happen in a normal purchase. So I think by taking out opportunity to inspect, because we would be receiving all the information we would need, it will also help council when negotiating prices. If you've got a bank valuation that has a specific price, it's easier to negotiate that way.
Thank you, Councillor Bone. We're up to speakers for. Councillor Howe.
I'll speak for it. I believe an independent evaluation of a property is far better than just councillors and council staff doing it. You get an independent bloke who knows the valuation of properties, and we can then say that we're true and transparent, and we've had it independently valued, and the valuation was X, and it puts it on a clean slate and arm's length to make sure that everything is done and it's final, just in real estate.
Can I speak against the motion? Only I agree with what Councillor Bohm has to say in that aspect, but only if we speak with an independent valuer comes to value the property and they don't know it's for, like, they don't know, but they don't understand what council has in line for that property. So if council decides they would like to subdivide that property, and the value would then be on the subdivision and what it would be worth.
Yeah, so it would more be, evaluation's more a guide, and a lot of us use the risk ratings themselves. So the potential for subdivision is also a factor when they do pricing, etc. But it would be more so a guide to use, like minimum and maximum. They also use, for instance, if there's asbestos in there, or if there's something that would add to a cost of removing it as well. But it's what would happen to anybody that was purchasing any home with finance. So
through you, Mayor, can I just
sorry,
just for so it's I've just found it. You could not find the words in the property strategy that council's just adopted.
Oh, yep.
But it very clearly says, where council acquires property, it will ensure that the price paid for the property does not exceed the fair market value of the land plus any improvements assessed on the basis of an independent market valuation.
Amazing.
So this motion is.
So, yes, we get it. Perfect.
My concern has simply been the fact that we do not want councillors turning up on the site.
Well, at the end, if the mover was happy to remove that,
valuation's
yeah.
fine.
Yep.
For that,
So it's a new point.
Just couldn't find it.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, thank you.
Amazing.
So just dropping that notice motion. Okay, second one from Councillor Smith is the lease agreement, SAAA.
Thank you. That Narromine Shire Council signed a 10-year lease with the Sport Aircraft Association Australia on their hangar with a 50% rental reduction.
Have a seconder for that, Councillor Barber. Okay, would you like to speak to your motion, notice of motion, please?
Thank you. For those who don't know, the Sport Aircraft Association has been around Narromine for approximately 16 years. They have a classification of aeroplane called experimental, which basically means that a lot of the planes that they're flying are majority built by the owners. And over time, those owners are getting older and wanting to pass that plane on to a new purchaser. Now, the problem is that they have what they call laneys, which are aircraft technicians to work on aircraft, and owner builders are allowed to do a certain level of maintenance on their own aircraft because they've done the majority of the build. But if you haven't done the build, if you've bought that plane from somebody else, you can't at the moment touch that. Now, the SAAA over the last 2 or 3 years, from what I've been told, have been working closely with CASA to develop a course to actually train owners that didn't build these experimental aircraft so that they can actually do some of the maintenance themselves. They've come back to Narromine. They've had the first run through of their training course. CASA has ticked them off. They're in the process of gaining their instrument at the moment. They're finishing up, I think it's today, on their first course run through. They've got about 15 pilots out there, and they've been very successful from what I saw when I popped out there the other day to have a quick look. Them bringing this course back into Narromine Shire is going to be a huge cash injection for us. They can easily choose to run this course from anywhere, so we need to make that hangar very attractive to them to get them to stay here, because they've got to equip that hangar and invest money in doing quite a bit to it. Hence my suggestion of 50% lease fee reduction. They had fly-in and AGM here last October. I was lucky enough to go for dinner because Mayor and the deputy mayor were unable to do so, and I was super impressed with what they're doing. And they were telling me then that they had a conservative estimate of a spend of $140,000 over the 3 days they were in town. That's a huge injection. These courses, they're aiming to run at least once a month, minimum 4-night duration in Narromine, possibly 5 nights. They might even extend onto that, and 15 participants, 2 trainers. That's a lot of money coming into our shire, and supporting our local businesses and helping them to not only thrive but to grow. And I think that's really, really important. On top of that, some of the Freedom Fighter Formation crew have been here this week as well, and apparently they are extremely impressed with the facilities we have here in Narromine, and they are talking about trying to have some training camps here as well. So, as I say, the sky's the limit. I think we need to support them.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. Anybody like to speak against this notice of motion?
Before we do that, can we ask the staff?
I'll speak against it, Mr. Mayor. I've known CASA for probably the 20 odd years that I've been on this council, and they are very affluent owners, trainers, builders of planes.
SAAA.
I mean, the SAAA, yes. And they have been very happy with the arrangements that we've done with them over many years. Every time they've come here to do things, and I don't think a reduction in rental will make much difference. And I don't think it's our job to allow, again, private enterprise to win off council's money.
Thank you.
Now,
Speakers for the motion.
can we answer the question that I asked?
Speakers
Yeah,
for the motion.
through you, Mayor. So yes, I'm happy to answer that. So I guess in answer to your question, my preference, and I assume my staff's preference, is that we would prepare a report and bring that to council, because only in the last few days we've actually received a formal request directly from SAAA, and there's a number of options that they are looking at. that's what we normally do. We normally ask for more information when organisations are getting it's effectively a donation, we'll call it, for want of a better word, or a waiver of a fee that's been set by council. The normal process would be that we would prepare a report and the staff would seek further information from SAAA so that you've got all of the information in front of you.
Make a recommendation.
So that then you can make a decision.
Is the mover okay if we amend the motion for Narromine Shire Council bring a report on
Yep,
that?
on
On
the lease, that's fine.
the sign a 10-year lease and instead of saying just on the 50% rental induction on options discuss something so that you can bring it back to us.
Yeah, so through you, Mayor, as I said, this isn't actually what they've asked for. I'm going to be, okay, so I think we would be best to just either let that motion lapse and we just prepare a report on the basis of some correspondence that we received in the last couple of days and bring that back to council.
Is the mover okay with
Would you like to do that?
Well, I'm happy to amend the motion to ask council to prepare a report.
Through you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Councillor Howe.
At the moment, is it a year by year lease or is it a 3-year lease or?
They need a report.
And that's right. Well, you know, but I thought I might have been able to get it straight.
No, it's not actually it's a year by year lease at their request. Yep.
Thank you.
And I think that's why it's important to have all of the information.
Agrees.
Okay, so reworded
Can-
motion.
Narromine Shire Council bring a report on options for the SAAA hangar rental.
Done
Is
deal.
that,
Yes.
sorry,
Probably
Sal.
That's probably, through you, Mayor, that's probably not. Personally, I would just leave it and let us prepare the report because you're asking for a report on a lease. The lease may not be
What they're after.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
That might not be the option that, or there might be a number of options.
Options of the
We're
SAAA
going to kick ourselves.
hangar.
Like-
Full stop.
I'd just like to say the following. We had a meeting out with the SAAA guys, Councillor Smith, GM and Phil. At that meeting, they wanted to buy the hangar. That was the vibe of the meeting there. Obviously they've had to think about it and change their mind.
I don't know if they've changed their mind. I'm just wanting to
Yeah.
make sure they've got options.
But I'll just say this, like the Aero Club's very close to my heart and they asked for half rent and we did a resolution they'd pay no rent. It costs money to maintain all these facilities out there. We put a new air conditioner in the Aero Club last year. Normally you collect rent to do those repairs. They're impressed with the aerodrome, but it costs money to have that aerodrome. You've got to have incomers to match the outgoing. But anyway.
And through me, I guess the other thing is the normal process is that these requests would come to council in writing through to staff. That's how, and then we bring reports. That's the normal process.
Is there going to be more wording on that or is that it? The council prepare report in relation to the SAAA?
Leave it open so that
Yeah.
if that's what, yeah.
Should we put letter or requests?
No, just leave it at that.
Okay.
That's fine.
Going to bring a report.
It's hanger number 10, I think. You want to put that on there?
No,
We don't need anything on that.
Okay. All right. You happy with that, Councillor Smith? Yes. All righty. I think we've come to the end of the meeting. Oh, sorry. There are some questions we've noticed that have been answered there. It's been taken care of.
Didn't put the motion.
Yep. Okay. Would somebody like to move this motion as on the board there, please?
Yeah, I will.
Councillor Smith. Seconder, Councillor Bowen. We'll put it straight to the vote. All those in favour?
Aye.
Okay, we've got myself. Excuse me. Councillor Lambert, Councillor Smith, Councillor Howe, Councillor Bowen, Councillor Leake, Councillor Hoey and Councillor Davies. And against Councillor Roberts. The motion is carried. Okay, there's
I move a motion that we go into closed.
There's nothing to go into close.
there's nothing to go into closed.
Yeah, we voted that one in.
It's just closed thing. Oh, Heath?
Okay, so we'll declare the meeting closed. Thanks for your attendance.
Yes. Was it 2 at a time?
Catch you all later on. I hope the streaming went well. Thank you.